What's good?
Back again, part two.
Yeah,
How you doing, man? How's today going?
it's all right. It's nice out. The weather's been killing my vibes, so
I
it's
know.
good.
Big weather mood guy, man, for sure. For me,
Yeah,
I feed off it. Yeah, so obviously, shout out to Easton for having us on here again. We're gonna, go live from their perspective and, to their fans and me and you can chat it up again. I know we talked the other day, but we'll dive into some new topics, man. And
yeah,
yeah, man, just catch up, see how we're doing. So first off, man, how you hanging in there? How's your mindset? I know we spoke the other day, but again, how you feeling today? With continuing where you're at.
good. Just started working out. Um, it's weird. I'm kind of treating this like an off season, so I took a couple weeks to kind of relax and chill out. And um, yesterday I started getting after it a little bit. So everything's good this way though. Sun came out today. Um, it makes people motivated when the sun's out. So it's definitely nice.
Yeah, for sure. So like are you literally doing the same exact like off-season workout that you were doing? Are you modifying it a little bit because you don't know how long it's gonna be? Like what's kind of is there anything different?
Well, I'm trying to stay in my house, so there's a lot of things that I don't have access to that I usually do. So I'm just kind of improvising. I have a really big rooftop deck in my house, so we're kind of utilizing that. Got some ladders, got a hitter's net, tee. Um, that's kind of like my sanctuary up there right now. So
Right, right.
just trying to, make the best out of what we got.
And that's indoors or outdoors? It's an
It's
outdoor
out.
deck.
Yeah,
Yeah, everything's
yeah, it's
outside.
outdoors. Uh-huh.
So you're really relying on that weather to get that work in then.
Well, it don't matter. Rain, I could take it because there's half or a third of it is covered.
Okay.
So if it does rain, I could always like slide my stuff over and do it, under the covered part. Um, but ideally, I want to, enjoy the weather.
Yeah, 100%. So you've been working out. Have you been doing any drills, like anything that you like normally do at spring training? I know it's obviously tough. Like probably don't have a throwing partner at some point. Like what are you doing to like, work on your outfield, just getting better, kind of just staying up to date.
Well, the defensive part is hard to do.
Yeah.
The most I could do is just like reaction stuff with with like a lacrosse ball and just throw it against the wall and just react, throw into the net. Um, got some weighted balls, doing my shoulder exercises in my shoulder program, and then yeah, just a lot of explosive work, kind of like what I've always done, just modified a little bit. Got a punching bag.
There you
It's
go.
like
Get the
a
anger out.
yeah, no, not necessarily, but it's like an old school thing, I guess. My dad, when I was little, he used to, well, for one, he got this really big tractor tire. We had a
Okay.
batting cage in our backyard, and he would set it up in the corner. And before I started my day, I would, hit it like 20 times just to get my core activated.
Mm-hmm.
And and the puncher bag kind of simulates that. We had a puncher bag in our garage growing up too, and so it was kind of if I was bored and he wasn't there, or if I didn't have anybody to go toss to me, I would go and hit the punching bag with my bat. And yeah, I busted a couple of them from the top.
That's good
But
though. It means you're getting
yeah,
stronger. That's
yeah,
fire.
yeah.
That's dope,
But
man. That's cool, man. So yeah, like you said, you're staying, doing the best you can, and for all the people that are watching this, all you can do is use what you have, grab a wall, grab a ball, and just like you said, just work on whatever you can.
yeah,
But diving a little bit into you, some things we weren't able to talk about last time that I know we wanted to speak about was the Negro Leagues. I believe it's the 100-year anniversary. Is that correct? Don't
yeah,
want to say I'm wrong.
yeah,
I know that
yeah.
was a huge influence on your both your life and your playing career. Can you talk a little bit about what that means to you and a little bit about, the history that some people may not know about, or maybe some cool stories that you've been, involved with?
Yeah. Well, growing up, my parents surrounded me around the Negro League culture. Well, for one, they wanted me to know my history and where I came from, for one. and obviously baseball is a big part of my life. So, um, I mean, I had pictures on my wall in my room of Satchel Paige and Josh Gibson and Jackie Robinson, obviously, Bob Gibson, just a just a just a lot of really popular Negro League players. A lot of them never got a chance to make it to the big leagues because of segregation and stuff. But um, I think it's just important for me to know where my roots are, and that at one point we did have our own league, and there were a lot of blacks that played baseball and that were really good at it, and it kind of well, back in the day, you saw more black faces, American faces, in the big leagues, and over the course of you know the game, it's kind of gone down a little bit. And this year, it's they're celebrating the 100-year anniversary of the Negro Leagues, and I think it's really cool for that for the MLB to be doing that, so that people can who might not have any idea that there was a Negro Leagues. It kind of gives them a different perspective, and especially for the black youth. A lot of these kids they look up to basketball players and football players, and they don't really have anybody in baseball to relate to. So I think this obviously I don't know when the season's going to start, but I was really looking forward to rocking the Negro League uniforms, and I know they were probably going to do something along those lines. But yeah, it's so my dad, he calls me Papa, right? And my Players Weekend jersey like 2 or 3 years ago was Papa,
Hmm.
and he calls me that because of Cool Papa Bell, who played in the minor league. He was like the fastest cat back in the day, and I had wheels growing up, so it was
That's
something
very
that
cool.
yeah, it's something that he calls me, and to this day, like call me, "What's up, Papa?" Yeah, it's just funny.
That's cool. Yeah, it's a cool. See, like that's cool about the players' weekend jerseys. There's stories behind them that some people may not know about. So that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
So growing up, like who would you say is the most influential? I mean, kind of like I don't know what we talked about before, but your father played in the big leagues, and who growing up, who is the most influential player on your career growing up? Was it your father? Was it somebody else? Like who was it growing up that made you want to be that, emulate that person?
I mean, it was probably my dad, first and foremost, but someone I really looked up to was Sammy Sosa. My
Mm,
dad played with him in Chicago, and this is right when I started really playing competitive baseball, 12, 13 years old. And I remember when I hit my homers, I used to do the Sammy hop. Um, not